Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're basically becoming chemical detectives. We're going to uncover the secret molecular code that connects pretty much everything. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, and yeah, even the blueprint of our own bodies. So let's crack this thing together.
Just think about that for a second. I mean, on the surface, they seem like they're from different planets, right? You've got this sweet, golden liquid, a protein-packed powerhouse, and then this slick, liquid fat. But hidden inside each one is a shared secret, a molecular connection.
And there it is. They are all made of organic compounds. These are the molecules that literally form the basis of all life as we know it. And today, we are putting them right under the microscope.
All right, so here's our mission briefing for today. First, we'll identify our prime suspect, the molecules of life. Then we're going to meet the master builder, carbon, and get to know the 4 key players in this whole chemical drama. After that, we'll decode their unique signatures, run our own chemical investigation, and finally, reveal life's chemical blueprint. Sound good? Let's jump right in.
Okay, so our investigation kicks off by getting a good look at our prime suspect. What exactly is an organic compound, and why is it so incredibly important?
So the key takeaway here is pretty simple. If a molecule has a carbon backbone, we consider it organic. That's it. From the simplest little methane gas molecule all the way to the unbelievably complex DNA that holds your entire genetic code, carbon is, without a doubt, the MVP of life's chemistry.
But why carbon? I mean, out of all the elements on the entire periodic table, what makes this one so special? Why is it the foundation for literally every living thing on our planet?
I love this analogy. Think of carbon as the ultimate Lego master builder. Because it can form 4 really strong bonds, it can build in any direction, up, down, left, right. This lets it link up with other carbon atoms to create these long, straight chains or complex branches that look like little trees, and even super stable rings. It's this incredible 3D building skill that allows for the absolutely staggering variety of molecules that life needs to exist.
Now, here's the thing. While there are literally millions of different organic molecules, they mostly fall into 4 big categories. In our investigation, these are what we'll call the usual suspects, the macromolecules that build us, power us, and keep us going.
So first up, you've got carbohydrates, which are basically our go-to source for quick energy. Then we have lipids, fats and oils, which are great for storing energy long-term and keeping us insulated. Proteins, they're the construction crew, building everything from our muscles to the enzymes that make chemical reactions happen. And finally, you have nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, which are the ultimate information keepers, storing the genetic blueprint for life itself.
So how does a simple carbon chain turn into a specific energy molecule or a building block for muscle? Well, the secret is in their MO, their modus operandi. In the world of chemistry, we call these functional groups.
A functional group is just a specific little arrangement of atoms that gives a molecule its unique identity and its job. A great way to think about it is like this. The carbon backbone is a smartphone. Pretty boring on its own, right? Well, functional groups are like the apps you download. You add one app, it becomes a calculator. You add another, it becomes a camera. Same phone, totally different functions.
Let's check out a few of these key apps. You see the hydroxyl group? Slap that onto a carbohydrate, and suddenly it can dissolve in water. That's exactly why sugar disappears in your coffee. Now, proteins are built from amino acids, which brilliantly have both an acidic carboxyl group and a basic amino group. And nucleic acids? They use that high-energy phosphate group to link together and form the backbone of DNA. These little attachments change everything. In fact, sometimes just flipping the position of one tiny functional group can turn a helpful medicine into a dangerous poison. That's how critical these details are.
Okay, theory is great and all, but now it's time for the fun part. Let's head into the lab. How do we actually find these usual suspects in everyday stuff? It's time to crack the case.
And what's really cool is you don't need some super fancy high-tech lab for this. Our main forensic tools are chemical indicators. These are just special liquids that change color when they bump into a specific organic molecule. It's like a classic whodunit test, but with chemistry.
Okay, case file number 1. Our target is simple sugars, also called monosaccharides. We're looking for suspects like the sugar you'd find in honey or maybe some apple juice.
The procedure we're using is called the Benedict's test. It's really simple. We just add our sample to a test tube, put in a few drops of Benedict solution, give it a little shake, and then heat it up. That heat is what really gets the reaction going.
And here's the moment of truth.
If there's no sugar in our sample, the solution just stays that same old blue color. But if simple sugars are present, bam, we get this dramatic color change. It could be green, yellow, or even a deep brick red. Case closed on that one.
All right, on to our next suspect. This time, we're on the hunt for starch, which is a more complex carb you'd find in things like cornstarch or potatoes.
For this one, all we need is a simple iodine solution. This test is super straightforward. If the solution stays its normal kind of yellow-brown color, no starch. But if starch is present, the iodine reacts and turns this deep, unmistakable blue-black. You can't miss it.
Okay, time to find our construction crew. Case file number 3 is all about detecting proteins, the kind of stuff you'd find in egg whites or milk.
The test for protein uses something called Biret reagent. Now, if our substance tests negative, the solution pretty much stays a light yellow or blue. But a positive test for protein gives us this really clear shift to a blue-violet color. Simple and super effective.
And for our final case file, we're keeping it old school simple. We're on the lookout for lipids, so fats and oils, like canola or olive oil.
Yep, you don't even need test tubes for this one. It's the classic brown paper test. You just put a drop of whatever you're testing on a paper bag and let it dry. If the spot just disappears, nope, no lipids. But if it leaves behind that greasy, translucent spot that light can pass through, you've found your fat. So, with all our lab tests done and all our suspects identified, I think we can officially say, case closed. We've seen how these fundamental molecules are defined, what gives them their specific jobs, and how to find them.
So let's just do a quick recap of the key findings from our investigation. We've confirmed that all life is built on this incredibly versatile carbon framework. These carbon-based molecules form 4 major groups that do everything from giving us energy to storing our genetic code. We learned that their specific jobs are decided by those all-important functional groups, and as we just saw, we can actually find them all around us using simple color-changing tests. You know, there's a quote that just wraps this all up perfectly. Life itself represents applied chemistry, countless atoms working together to keep us living. It really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Everything we are just comes down to this incredible, intricate dance of atoms and molecules. It's applied chemistry on the biggest scale imaginable. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. When you realize that you are made of the exact same fundamental building blocks as a potato or an apple, just arranged in a different way, it really gives you a whole new perspective on the chemistry of life. So what does that connection mean to you? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this investigation today.